Ahoy Sailors, it is me Jimmy, and this episode of PescaFoodie is a holiday special where I'll show you my take on a butternut squash agnolotti with a beautiful sage brown butter sauce. It is so good and could make for a great appetizer or even a side dish on your holiday table. So let's start cooking up. So first, get yourself a nice butternut squash, cut the top off and then cut it in half. Scoop up the flesh and the seeds from the middle, but don't throw it away. I'll show you what we'll do with it in just a second. Then go ahead and cut your squash in any shape you want as long as it's uniform. I know it's not the easiest job to do, but it will be done, I promise. Now transfer your squash into a pot and add some salt. Then cover it with water and bring it up to a boil on high heat and then cook it for around 20 minutes. You're looking for the squash to be very tender. So while it's boiling, rinse and clean the seeds that you kept earlier from the squash. Add some olive oil, cayenne pepper and salt, then mix it and put it on a baking sheet into a preheated oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius for around 10 minutes until they are nicely toasted. These little seeds will make a perfect garnish or even a little snack on their own. Now unfortunately I have lost some footage of the next and last step, but I will guide you through it. So when your squash is done, drain it and put it in a blender or a food processor and blend it until it is nice and smooth. Take it out into a mixing bowl, add some parmesan cheese, cinnamon, nutmeg, salt and pepper, then mix it and you'll end up with this delicious filling. Now go ahead and taste your filling and adjust the flavors because we will not be able to adjust anything later on. Next, take a piping bag and put it in a glass. Don't worry if you don't have a piping bag, just use a Ziploc bag and put a filling inside. Push it into one corner and push the air out and twist it to lock the filling in. Then cut the tip off. Same thing with the piping bag. Now dust the wooden surface with flour. Take your pasta out of the fridge and cut it into 8 equal portions. If you don't know how to make fresh pasta dough, click the link on your screen right now and I'll show you how to do it. Keep the dough covered until you are ready to work with it so it doesn't dry out. This step can be done with a pasta machine, but don't panic if you don't have one, because neither do I. So take your rolling pin and get your elbows ready. You want to roll each portion of the dough into a rough rectangular shape, one at a time, pretty thinly. How thin? Thin enough so you can see your hand through the sheet. You'll get a much better and thinner result with a pasta machine, but this way is totally fine. At this stage, go ahead and pipe small dollops of the filling on the sheet, leaving some space between each one. Then using your finger, dab a little bit of water on the edges to make sure it sticks and seals properly. The amount of filling you pipe in will determine the size of the agnolotti. So agnolotti is this type of pasta that's supposed to be fairly small. Personally, I like it a little bit bigger, but suit yourself and do what you fancy. Then go ahead and roll it gently onto itself, pushing all the air out and applying some pressure in between each segment to seal it in. Then repeat until you reach the edge. Push again to make sure it's well closed and cut it off with a pizza cutter or just a knife. And continue on with the rest. Leave the agnolotti uncovered for a good hour to let it dry out. This will prevent it from sticking when it cooks. But if you're in a hurry, you can cook it right away. Just keep stirring the agnolotti while it's boiling so it doesn't all stick together. So if you have some leftover filling, which you probably will, don't throw it away. Keep it in the fridge and the next day, add it to a pan with a little bit of chicken stock and you'll have a delicious sauce to coat some pasta in a matter of minutes. Next, get a pot of chicken stock up to a boil for the pasta and in a pan on high heat, add in some butter to brown off. Now here I realized my heat was a bit higher than I wanted it, so the butter started to brown really quickly. So adjust your heat if this happens to you. And then go ahead and add some dried or fresh sage leaves and season with salt and pepper. And here I decided the sauce needed some more butter, so I added a little bit. And you basically want to cook this until the pasta is done, which will take 2 to 3 minutes considering this is fresh pasta, not dried pasta. And once it is, transfer it into the pan with a slotted spoon and add a little bit of stock alongside the Parmesan cheese, stir it well, and serve it up with extra Parmesan and the beautiful seeds we roasted earlier. I again apologize about the loss of the footage, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Jump into your kitchen and make this dish and send me pictures on my social media pages. The links are in the description down below alongside the written recipe for this video. Don't forget to push the thumbs up button and leave your requests in the comments section. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you sailors on the next cruise. Happy holidays!